Well, good afternoon. Welcome to the Rabell Realty Group podcast with Kristen Rabell.
Rebecca Johnson.
And here we are on this bright, sunshiny day. Thank you for joining us. We've got we'll talk market, talk today and see what's going on, what your thoughts are, Rebecca, what my thoughts are. Anybody else have thoughts on the market, please write on our Facebook page and we will include your responses and any of your questions. So we'd love to hear what your thoughts are also. Do you want to go ahead into the Monday market moment so we can really see what's going on?
Let's do it.
Perfect.
All right, let's take a look and see what's happening in North Central Florida.
So we're having the March versus April numbers.
Ooh, okay. I like it. Oh, that's right, because we're only on May 2nd.
Yeah, May 2nd, we always say, let's go and see the last two. And I think this one is very telling.
Yes.
Very interesting because April and June are typically the largest months in sales. And a lot of people are complaining about it being a little slow.
So we'll just start with the St. Augustine Beach area and take a look. You've got 49 for March that closed. And again, this is just the beaches area. And then you have 45 for the month of April.
Not far behind,
Not
but
too
still.
bad, right? And then we'll go over to Gainesville, Alachua County, which is where we're primarily based out of and where we host the show from.
Right.
So you've got 305 for the month of March and 288 for the month of April.
Again, not a huge difference, but you would expect April to be higher in both of these areas.
Mm-hmm. And then down in Ocala in Marion County, we have 716 for the month of March and 563 for the month of April. So there I feel like you do see a little bit more of a change. But I know... I don't know if we're talking about this later or not, but I did send you an article about Ocala and Marion County.
So that's a huge difference, and versus the two, the three others. So so April is quite a bit lower than March, but we did see an article that Ocala is ranked one of the hottest spots in the nation right now. And that was really shocking and interesting to read that. But when I opened it, it said like the top 5, Ocala, I think Tampa was on there, or St. Pete, or Clearwater.
Those
one
are
of
both
those.
great places.
Right. Jacksonville, I believe, was on there, right? There were like 3 of the 5 of them.
Hey, Tabitha.
Hey, Tabby. 3 of the 5 of them are Florida. So Nashville was another one. I can't remember, somewhere in Texas.
Nashville is amazing to visit. Yeah. I don't know if I'd want to live there, but it's amazing to visit.
But is Ocala a great place?
You know what I think it is? They built the World Equestrian Center, and you do have a lot of people. I'm like shocked that there are so many people every week going there. People are constantly telling me, oh, I went to this event there. I went to that.
They're having a lot of events. That is true.
So they're having a lot of stuff.
And I think like what we've been noticing and what we talk about a lot is, the migrations into Florida. And then we always have migrations up from South Florida into these very woodsy areas. And although Ocala, has been showing better closings, closed sales than Gainesville and Alachua, I think it's still a little more affordable, and you get a lot more land.
Their taxes are certainly lower.
And their taxes are lower, right? And you're still, it's beautiful. You've got the horse land. I mean, you're fairly close to waterways, so really not that far away from lakes and rivers. So you have water there. Same with Alachua County, but you're still, you're having sort of to travel north and south of Gainesville to get there. Whereas Ocala, if you're in Marion County, there you go. They are considering the villages, probably. Smart, Carrie, yes, I do believe those are in the MLS. And
yeah, I'll have to look at that
in terms of sales, but also in terms of they're in a
different MLS than us.
The
by
Villages.
The way, the Villages is
right.
They're actually
but we're talking about this article, so
right.
It is. We'll talk about that in a second, Tabby. How hard is it becoming a realtor? But the fact is that Ocala does have the Villages, and the article did not state that, Carrie, but I would bet that that's a big part of it because it does have a large concentration of retirees that are living in these homes in this community that's very well known. So, but I think the World Equestrian Center is part of it. All right, Tabby's asking about becoming a realtor. We'll move over for 2 seconds, Tabby. You don't have to have a college degree. Your mom is a realtor, though, so you should probably ask her those questions, or she was a realtor. You just have to take the class and pass the test and then pass the state exam, and then you can become a realtor or a real estate agent also. Then
UF does have an excellent real estate school as well.
It does.
Which would be 4 years of college if you wanted to go that route. Or you can take the class and get your license and go that route. It just kind of depends on the scope of real estate that you're looking to get into. So, but we can talk with you offline if you want about that.
Right. We'll talk with your mom also, because she probably has a lot of information for you, being that she was a realtor. She still holds her license as well. And so she still sells some real estate. All right. So, yes. So I think this is a great segue. I love that, though, that Ocala's on one top. So you already did Tampa. Did you say?
I didn't say Tampa Hillsborough. I got to say Tampa Hillsborough. You got 1,126 versus 1,002. So
all right.
We got stuck in Marion County.
I love that Ocala is one of the top 5. I think it's interesting. But like a couple of you mentioned, it is beautiful.
Yes. I believe it's 55. Yeah.
It's a 55 plus neighborhood.
And you can't have anybody 18 and under more than a certain amount of time at your house for a certain period of time.
Right. They don't want like your grandchild who's, 18, 24, can't find a job to move in with you, and have all the partake in all the fun that they're having. The Villages is very well known for lots of fun. I think that's why a lot of people like to move there at 55 plus. We won't get into that, though. That's for another podcast. Kara Winslow could talk about that on her podcast.
Yeah, there you go. Save it for the Lipstick Diaries. Oh, my gosh. Okay.
Oh, just teasing, Kara. It was a good one, though. So we have a couple of topics like starter homes. We can get into that, or the typical mortgage payment information. We're not lenders, so we don't know every single person's mortgage payment or information about that. But we have some stats from some articles we've read.
So there was an article on money.com that came out actually either last night or this morning, and it says that the typical mortgage payment is up by 39% from where it was a year ago. And we just thought it'd be fun to kind of talk about why that's playing into that. And the short answer is mortgage interest rates have gone up.
Right.
We know the Fed is about to meet again. There's a lot of speculation on how much.
More. Right. How
high? Yes, I think pretty much everybody can agree that rates are going up, but the question is how much will they go up? And, that's a question. Oh, I should have brought the Predicto ball that you got me for my birthday.
She has a special 8 ball.
Maybe she'll bring that special magic 8 ball. We'll have to bring it in one time for the show because it's really funny. I think it's funny. And but anyways, maybe it would give us a prediction of where the market's going.
I mean, we're smiling and laughing, not because it's fun to see all of this, but we're just we talk about this all the time.
Your Predicto ball,
right? But yes, I mean, it's the rates are going up that causes a little hike in your monthly payment. Also, the prices are going up. I have stats here from NAR saying that the average price for a starter home, was $233,400 in 2019, and by the end of 2021 was $307,400, and that is Florida bound. But Gainesville, if you're looking at the average prices, they're in the 350s. So give or take, depending on where you are, where you're looking, but Gainesville proper, a little higher. So I've noticed as a realtor also that a lot of the first-time home buyers, starter homes, we're saying that, are already in that price range. We're, $350 to $380, whereas back in the day it was, $120s, $150s. They're saying in 2019, $230s. So now they're up a little higher than the $3s. So you're seeing that all the way around.
What did you pay for your first home? Drop it in the comments so we can talk about. And the year that you bought.
Well, also the rate. Do you remember the rate that you bought with? Because even though our rates are going up, we're still, I think the difference now is the prices have been higher with these higher rates. But we're still not out of the norm for an average rate price, right?
We were just reading something right before the show started that said we're seeing the same month over month pricing increases that we saw since 2005. So prices are going up. We agree. We pretty much all of us agree that interest rates are going up. I haven't really encountered anybody that doesn't agree with that. So basically, it's just going to be more and more expensive.
Inflation, whether it's already here or not, it's right around the corner. I think in many ways it's kind of already here, but we are also talking about, there's inflation going on. Everything is more expensive right now. So we are a lot of things I read is that when you're starting to believe in inflation, that you're in an inflation, you've already passed it. You've already been in it for the last 6 months. So with that being said, we're pretty much in an inflation. And, so we're dealing with these higher prices. We're dealing with these higher rates. We're dealing with the low inventory. And I believe we stated this before a couple of weeks ago on this program, and if we haven't, in Gainesville alone, 40% of buyers are cash buyers. So you're going up against cash buyers. So that begs to answer the question, are we in a bubble, Rebecca?
We are not in a bubble.
Because you mentioned 2005. That was most certainly a bubble.
Well, let's see. Everybody says it's not a bubble. I guess what I think is everybody's expecting it to be what it was. And the thing is, you can never expect it to be what it was the last time or the time before that, because there's always different variables. Sure. And I personally believe, I don't have any evidence to share on the show.
She just has a magic 8 ball. That's
just
all.
My magic Predicto ball, which is what I've switched over to from the 8 ball. Is that sorry, I'm thinking about it. It's so funny. If you don't know what it is, you have to go look it up. I'm not gonna, because it's a little politically, so I'm not gonna post it or say anything on here. So you can just go look it up.
All right. So what does your magic Predicto ball tell you?
That there's variables that we are not aware of, whether it's, people intentionally messing up the market, or there's too many things that you just don't know. And, everybody wants to predict the exact moment that the market's going to crash. And the truth is very few people can do that. All you can do is prepare.
Yeah,
I don't think
it's numbers. It's really focusing on everything and just having luck. I remember back when this was happening, we were sort of new to real estate, and we were seeing things happen, and all of a sudden it was like the next day it flipped, and no one was ready for it. So actually, I've been reading a book, and if I had it, I can't remember the guy's name. I just bought it, but it was basically saying, just always buy. So right now, people are, there's realtors, there's mom and dad, there's other people saying, don't buy right now because we're in a bubble and it's going to burst. But how do you know when it's going to burst, and how do you know if it's going to actually be better for you to buy later? So if you're in the ability to buy now, we'll get back to that too, Elio. But when if you have the ability to buy now, it's probably better right now, despite the fact that we have these higher prices and the rates are going up. Well, I just heard a realtor tell another buyer, if you're getting that rate right now, which the buyer thought the rate was insane, probably because again, mom was telling her how the rates were better a couple of months ago. Buy it now, lock it right now, because like she said, like Rebecca said, the feds are meeting again. It might go up, and there's a lot of programs right now. We don't have a lender on here, but they've got cash. They're turning their loans into cash for you, so that you can purchase with cash, and they're also locking rates and allowing them to hold on for 90 plus days. So they're doing things to help you buy that they haven't had. They haven't had in the past, because they're always coming out with new programs for the current market right now.
Right. I think we talked about potential, what Europeans would call estate loans, where loans are now 40-year, 50-year, or 60-year versus the more, 10, 15, 20, 30-year.
Right. So I saw my favorite guy, Elon Musk. Just kidding. I do. I do think he's pretty crazy, crazy smart. Do you think Elon Musk buying Twitter could potentially affect the market?
I don't really
the real estate market.
I don't really see it affecting
not
the real
at all.
estate market.
I mean, he's buying Twitter. He's making a lot of people mad. He's making me a good 15, 20,000. I'm okay with that. When he sells it, for my shares, I'll make a little more money off of it. I'll go buy something else. I mean, he's definitely, he's definitely showing that he can come in and take over something that he just wants to have free speech on this one, platform. Is it going to affect us in real estate? I don't even know how that would touch real estate. I think that would affect some stocks in a different way, but I'm not a stock person, so that's not a great person. We've had Matt Barker on. He could probably talk you till you're blue in the face about it, but I probably cannot. So I don't see it affecting real estate.
I don't see it affecting real estate. I think it will make Twitter a lot more interesting than it has been the last couple years.
I can tell you, I'm not even really on Twitter, but when I am,
too old for Twitter.
I'm watching the responses to people.
Yes.
to people's.
No,
yeah,
I'm not on Twitter.
I'm watching like Johnny Depp.
Yes, I was going to say I'm on TikTok watching the trial.
I mean, I think it'll be crazy if he goes in and buys TikTok, because I've heard like little things about him going in and buying TikTok. So we'll see.
Yeah, I think I find it humorous that he's buying Twitter. I don't use it, though, as a platform very often.
I think it's more humorous for me to watch everybody's responses, whether good or bad.
People are mad.
I know. So TikTok and Twitter has great responses to it, and Facebook also, but who's on there? All right. Let's take a break. We're at our break. Let's watch our cute little video in the middle, and we'll come back and talk more real estate.
Looking for outdoor areas to enjoy in Gainesville? Once a railroad site, Depot Park is a contemporary public green space that serves as Gainesville Central Park. The park features a children's play area with custom splash pad, a picturesque water's edge promenade, which hosts special events like festivals, 5Ks, and performances, the Depot Station for any needed eats, and the Cade Museum. Next, we have Westside Park, with 1.5 miles of shaded hiking trails, 3 playgrounds, a skate park, and much more to experience. You'll never get bored with Westside. Book a swim lesson at the pool for your little one or a tennis lesson for yourself. There's fun for all ages. Lastly, we have Hogtown Creek headquarters, located on the north side of town. This park is home to a shaded playground, fitness trail, and zip line. Once home to a dairy farm, cows, fences, and milking barns, the 70 acres have since been transformed into a beautiful homestead-themed outdoor getaway. Please visit buysawrebell.com to learn more about parks in Gainesville.
All right, we're back. Thank you for staying with us or joining us during the break. Hopefully you'll have some responses to our comments and what we're talking about. We were talking about the market. Do you want to continue with that? Or I found this on BuzzFeed. It just showed up on my phone, and I thought it was interesting to go over. It really is more geared towards first-time home buyers, but it is to homeowners who've already had a home. So if you already own a home and you're watching us, let us know what your thoughts are on this question. So the question was, if you've ever bought a home, what's something you wish you'd done differently? Tell us in the comments below. So if there's anything when you bought your first home or any home that you've purchased, what's something you wish you'd done differently? Now, on your first home, was there anything you wish you had done differently when you bought it?
You know what? So it was a market much like we're in today.
Yeah, I remember.
And I don't know. I'm not emotionally attached to real estate.
Right.
So probably because I look at a lot of it, I could literally live almost
I would
anywhere.
say probably for you, you wish you would not have become so close to the seller, or the seller reach out and find you.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. Yes.
So
yes.
So sometimes it's better to be far apart from the seller. Now this seller, I think she reached out.
She lived like 3 blocks away.
Yeah, so she found you and then try to tell you all about her house and tell you how to take care of it.
She lived there for, let me think, it was built in the 80s, and I bought it in 2007. She had lived there a long time.
Barry Bullard home in Parkside.
Barry Bullard.
Cute little house, which has been completely remodeled inside now.
Yeah, but she was very involved. She knew everything about the house and would drive by and
what you would think would be wonderful, right?
The property,
but not so much so when she's finding you all the time. Oh, good one, Carrie. All right, Let's go back to this. I wouldn't do white cabinets again, and I hate when the primary bedroom door opens to the living space. That is true. So I don't agree with you on the white. So I also work with new construction, as you have, and I feel like white is like 90% of the people want white.
Why white? What's wrong, Carrie?
What's wrong,
Tell
white?
us. Spill.
She doesn't. Carrie, yeah, why? Do you drink too much red wine and it spills down the side? Just kidding. I would say, Carrie, you're probably going to say, like, although you don't have young kids, just the dirtiness of the cabinets.
I wipe all the cabinets down anyway.
And
so that's
yeah,
like part of my cleaning
that's what I tell
routine.
people also when they're like, oh my gosh, white cabinets. Like, again,
what color do you want if you don't want white? And I know this is going to be unpopular, but it has to be the right color. But part of me likes like the natural, but not like a stain where you could see all the grain. I like
sort
it
of
to be
new
more
popular.
of a glaze.
We've talked about that,
yes,
on a couple of our more modern style, right?
Right,
and
that earthy look.
Mm-hmm.
But I still like white cabinets.
But I think you're going to age the house if you get this earthy style cabinet because it's in right now. And then 10 years from now, everybody's going to go back to the white. So I think white, it's kind of like the little black dress. It's always popular. So I would say be careful with the color you pick outside of white, because it might go out of popularity and you just bought.
I feel that way about dark cabinets. A lot of dark. I see a lot of like real espresso, like dark.
We're doing the
right
pepper
now.
shaker in some of our homes, and I probably can step on my own foot for that. But
well, it's people like it.
It's beautiful for the
Now,
time being.
You mentioned the little black dress, which is always timeless and all that.
Right.
But you have to be careful with countertops, I feel like.
Yes, I do.
Because
I
can look at a house and be like, I know when that house was built.
Everybody's doing the white countertops now. Oh, and that's why I choose it, because everyone wants to sell. So why would you say you wouldn't buy it? Did we read your comment wrong, Carrie? Are you indecisive, Carrie? You're very decisive. So
she's in real
been
estate,
on the show.
She has to. I have that. What is it? I saw this thing and I was like, my toxic trait is I don't want my house to look like anybody lives here. That is my toxic trait. So I imagine that Carrie picked something because she's in the industry and she knows what everybody wants. Therefore, it's
called the vanilla effect. You want to make your house. So when you're selling a house outside of this market where things are selling when they usually shouldn't, or selling for way higher, because that's where the market is right now. A lot of people will tell them, make your house as vanilla as possible, right? You don't want lots of wall colors. You don't want, something that is, there's so many, a lot of people, they'll like, oh, I built this house and I built it to my liking. Now I'm going to sell it. And unfortunately, their floor plan doesn't work, or their colors don't work.
You can't over-personalize it.
I did it, but I wouldn't again.
But why wouldn't you? You got to tell us why.
Carrie, oh, come on. You're getting me excited. What's going on here?
So I actually took a property management listing, and it had the coolest countertops I've ever seen.
Okay.
It was a piece of custom glass that she had lights put into.
Okay.
So it would kind of transform and look like waves cascading across it.
Beautiful.
It was probably high-end money. She said there was only one person in the state that was making it at the time, and they were down in St. Pete. But
so do you think that's going to be too customized, or
I do think it's going to be too customized,
okay.
But I could tell you, if she puts that place on the market, I will be the first one standing there with a checkbook going, how much do you want for that? Because it was beautiful.
Very cute.
Everything was very islandy inside. It was gorgeous. But
all right.
Anyway.
So let's see. I have one here. And the person, or again, we're going back to the question, if you've ever bought a home, what's something you wish you'd done differently? Yes, we know, but you got to keep them clean. And you would probably keep the pepper shaker dark ones clean.
People don't clean those.
Also.
Let me just tell you. I go in homes.
Carrie would.
Oh, I know.
Okay, so what's something you wish you'd done differently? So someone says, never buy a flip. Just don't buy them. And the reason is because contractors can do absolute garbage work every now and then, but even they do better than flippers who are aggressively gentrifying neighborhood. Okay, we won't get into that, but it says with shiplap and gray accents, that's really popular right now. You're going to be able to time stamp both of these, shiplap and gray accents. Think about it. And they're still kind of
I'm
around
tired of
Gainesville.
shiplap. I'm like 5 years past
I'm not
tiredness.
seeing shiplap quite so much this year, but then again, the builders are building a lot slower. But shiplap was really big these past 5 years.
To me, I'm going to be honest, and you guys can come for me in the comments if you want, but shiplap is just 70s paneling turned this way and painted white.
It's true. So yes, and gray accents are really huge. I'm noticing that the more warm colors are coming back little by little. That's why the grays started coming in, because they can be, they can mix with beige rather than all grays. But yes, that cool gray color was really popular. And I will say this, we've sold flippers houses. We've worked with flippers. Yes, flippers are just putting lipstick on a pig.
Oh, no, wait. Was yours a foreclosure?
My very first house was a foreclosure. So if I were to ever ask this question, if you ever bought a home, what's something you wish you'd done differently? I was super happy with my purchase. It was a little cheapy house, and we were able to put stuff, fix it up. I probably would have changed a couple of things that we did personally while living there. I may not have, we used family members, and we chose some things that I liked that really customized. I probably would have kept it more vanilla, but I made a great sale. I rented it out to people that paid a good amount but were friends of mine. I had a great experience with that. I met all my neighbors who I still love. We're still all good friends. One of them's my landscaper now. The other's my roofer. We're still friends with people who moved out of the neighborhood. So I had a fantastic experience with my first purchase, but it was a foreclosure. And like they're saying about a flipper, there was history on the house. The house had been owned by someone who didn't take care of it, and half of it burned down. So things were redone in it, and maybe not to my loving or like, but they were redone. So I had a fairly new roof. I had a new kitchen. I don't know. I can't say I would do anything different from my purchase. And then when I sold it when the market was getting hotter. And now one of my realtors owns my house. So I still feel like it's in my family. So I didn't have a bad experience.
I didn't really. I mean,
but okay. So again, lipstick on a pig is a flip. So yes, you probably really want to.
It's some flips, not all flips,
of them.
not all
of them.
flips.
So every flipper is different, right? You know, they are trying to buy cheaper materials. They're trying to make it work with the numbers. Right now, numbers work really great. So I have seen some of the flippers do really nice things. There's one flipper in town. He's been on our show. If you need a repair, he will do it. As you know, so you know there are some really great flippers. Yay, Shama's my house.
Right.
Yeah. Still love that house and all the neighbors there. Yeah. So what are some other things? So really just with the flippers and also with with foreclosures and short sales if they've ever come back, I would say, and rentals, because there's one here, something that's been rented for a long time. Just pay attention to your inspections. Don't have an inspector, have it, a couple of extra inspections. Make sure you're there for the inspection. Make sure your realtor, looks over that inspection with you. Talk with your inspector and find out everything you can about the house. Not everybody's going to know. The flipper's not going to know anything, so don't expect that. And yes, they are not hiring contractors necessarily. They're hiring handymen. So know that they're not giving the best work ever. And you might not have warranty on all of those repairs that they've done also. So just know those items.
All right. One more real quick is it says be careful about condos, but I'm going to include any HOA. It says it seems like a good way to afford a home on a budget, but sometimes homeowners associations can be overbearing and are not always financially stable. And she specifically lives in Florida, and she gets into that. Yeah. But it's true, HOAs obviously try to, and this was more of a problem in the 2008 recession, where HOAs didn't have reserves because people were not paying and they were going into foreclosure. Right. So, but that's not just condos. It is a little scarier to me with condos because they cover your insurance.
I think she's talking about condos as a lot of people. It's a misnomer. A condo is a building where you own, as the owner, just the building, right? You don't own the land. But there's also attached homes or townhouses. Townhouses are doubles, 2-story. That can also be condo or can be single family attached. And if there's an HOA on those, you're usually sharing your, the siding, right? The HOA is taking care of the siding, the roof, the insurance, the hazard insurance of the property. And that's where if you have too many homeowners that are renters or too many that went underwater, then the HOA their reserves are depleting faster and more common, or they just don't have someone who's good with money that knows how to raise the rates and receive more reserves. So I think it's not just condos. I don't think it's the general home neighborhoods where the homes are separated more so, like single family.
No, well, she said overbearing, so that's where I was coming from.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm just saying, I think condo is a misnomer because some people call, single family attached homes condos, and they're not. So that's all I was saying. But yeah, so you agree that it can be overbearing.
A lot of them can be
expensive. Yes, especially if there's not reserves in there. So, that's all we got, right? We got our 30 minutes in. We could go over. There's like hundreds of these. I think they're interesting. We'll bring it back another time. All right. So next week, we have we've put this all over social media. Who's coming on next week? So are we doing this? Yeah. All right. The guest speaker trivia. He or she, could be a bald woman, grew up in Jonesboro, Georgia. Moved to Gainesville in 1994, but is still a Georgia dog, D-A-W-G. I don't know if dag, is that how they say it? Oh no, I'm Florida girl. Growing up, wanted to be an air traffic controller, but he or she is severely colorblind and would rather babysit an infant than go to the grocery store. Typical man right there. So I'm just kidding. Maybe not. Have spent the last 33 years helping people buy a home. That's true. They can get out from the kid. So he's not a typical man, or she is not a typical man. Clearly, I messed that up.
She's not a typical man.
All right. So, well, I don't know these day and age. So some of the answers we received, my favorite one was Dr. Evil. What were the other ones that you saw on my page?
I don't know. Herschel something. I didn't know
Herschel
who it was.
Walker.
There
right?
we go.
That was a Florence answer. So a lot of you got it correct, though. So I'm pretty impressed. So let's see. Let's do the big reveal. Next week, May 9th, we're going to have... Come on, we got a drummer in the house. He's not even drumming it for us. There we go. It's coming. It's coming.
Maybe it's coming. We don't know.
Technical difficulties.
Very sad.
Oh, yeah, it's Dan.
Where is it? Is it on there? There we go. Dan Montu. Yay, of Hale title. He's a good friend of ours. He is a dog, but we do know that one of his kids just got accepted into the UF medical program. So future doctor there. Congratulations. So we're excited to see Dan on next week. Ask him all your title questions, what you need to close a home, why you would hire him. And we'll just talk about general closing day, expectations with Dan. So we're excited to have him on. We'll have a great one with him, and we look forward to it. All right.
All right. And if you have a property that you're not quite ready to sell yet, or you're just tired of managing it yourself, we are here for you to be your leasing agent, accountant, repair person, inspector, and landlord overall. So give us a call at 352-213-6410 or check us out online at knrpm.com.
All right. And if you're looking to get into real estate or join a team or just change over from your current real estate company, or you're moving into Gainesville and you already have a real estate license, you can email us at join@buysellerbell.com. We'll answer your questions. Although we didn't do it on air, we can do it afterwards. So email join@buysellerbell.com.
And if you can't get enough of Kristen and Rebecca and the Rabell Realty Group crew, you can check us out on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, LinkedIn, and Google+. Please thank you to M2 Sports for hosting us over the weekend. There are photos up on the Facebook page.
And subscribe and like our page, our YouTube page. All right. And also, thank you. And also, if you're looking for content to read about real estate, the market, or local areas, find us on our blog at buysellerbell.com/blog.
And we want to thank the Fiesta Media for putting on this podcast and all of our other podcasts. If you are interested in having your own, please contact them today at 352-327-5089.
Thank you. And join us again next week, Monday the 9th at 2 p.m. with our special guest, Dan Montu of Hale Title. So thank you. Join us next week. Thanks for all your questions, answers, and comments also.